The Ashwind, Monarch. Before the fires came, the Ashwind Plains had been a quiet kingdom of soft gray grasses and drifting ember birds that glowed like dying stars and sang only at dusk. But now, the plains lay silent, their once whispering fields reduced to brittle ash that shifted in the wind like the sighs of restless ghosts. Leora Emberlane had grown up listening to stories of the Ashwind Monarch, a mythical ruler who walked between flame and shadow, a creature born of smoke whose arrival foretold the collapse of kingdoms. Most children giggled at the tales. Leora did not. Her mother had spoken of the monarch with reverence and fear, always glancing toward the horizon as if expecting its return. Now, standing alone on the cracked earth of the plains, Leora felt that old fear crawl through her ribs like a cold, determined insect. The wind stirred, lifting spirals of ash that danced like morning veils. In the distance, the sky burned a strange copper, a bruised firelight that pulsed, as if a heartbeat were hidden inside the clouds. "The monarch is waking," she whispered, and the wind seemed to whisper back. She had not come alone by choice. She had been sent. The Council of Ardenshire had declared her the Flamebearer, the only one able to reignite the Ember. Sigulda. Artifacts said to bind or free the monarch, depending on who commanded it. A destiny she had inherited, not chosen. A burden cradled in bloodlines older than the kingdom. On her shoulder perched a tiny ember bird named Sira, the last of its kind. Its small body flickered with fading light, feathers crackling softly like a dying fire. "It's all right," Leora soothed, though she wasn't sure she believed it. "We'll face it together." As she stepped deeper into the plains, the air thickened, tasting of charcoal and memory. Shadows warped around her ankles, darker than they should be. Flames curled up from the ground without burning, rising as ghostly orange blossoms that wilted into smoke. The very fabric of the world seemed to ripple around her, as though the plains themselves were breathing. When she reached the heart of the Ashwind Plains, she saw it. The Obsidian Throne, a colossal structure carved from volcanic glass, half buried in the earth like the spine of some fallen titan. It pulsed, faintly, low, rhythmic, alive, and from its depths, the monarch stirred. He rose from the throne like a shadow lifting itself free of a fire. His form shifted between shapesman, beast, flame, storm, each shape dissolving into sparks before settling again. His eyes, molten gold, held the weight of uncounted centuries. "You bear the sigil," he intoned, his voice deep enough to tremble the sky. "And yet, you fear me." Leora swallowed, fingers tightening around the ember sigil at her neck. "You burnt our lands. You swallowed our sun for 7 days. You left our ancestors in darkness." "I answered their call," the monarch replied. "I was summoned to Ver, unleashed unbidden." The truth hit her like slammed stone. Her people had not been victims. They had been architects. Her mother's stories returned fragments of forgotten bargains, whispered promises made in desperation. The Ember Sigil was not merely a binding tool. It was a contract. A pact sealed by an ancient ruler in a mortal kingdom long crumbled to dust. The plains were dying. The monarch continued, stepping toward her. "Your ancestors drew upon my fire to save them, but all flames consume. That is the cost mortals forget." Leora felt her heart clench. Was she here to bind him, or to finish a promise centuries abandoned? The monarch stood before her, now towering, flickering, impossible. Yet there was something undeniably human in his gaze, something weary and waiting. "What do you want from me?" she murmured. "Choice," he said. "Yours." Sarah fluttered anxiously, tiny feathers glowing brighter as if urging her. The ember sigil warmed against Leora's skin until it felt like a second heartbeat. In her mind, she saw the Ashwind Plains, rebore grass, regrowing in silver sweeps, ember birds returning in spirals of gentle flame, children running beneath skies no longer dimmed by fear. But she also saw the cost. To rekindle life with fire meant giving the monarch something in return. A tether. A bond. Maybe even herself. She stepped forward. The monarch lowered his heat, a gesture of ancient respect. "If my people once turned to you for life," she whispered, Then let my choice be the same. Not in desperation, but in understanding. She pressed her palm sigil and all against his chest. In an instant, the world ignited. Light burst around them in a storm of swirling embers. The plains roared with rebirth, flames racing through dead soil, not to destroy but to cleanse. Ash lifted into the air like flocks of white birds ascending. The sky peeled open, releasing sunlight that poured like molten honey. Leora felt warmth surge into her bones, spreading through her veins like a second soul. The Monarch's form stabilized less storm, Mormando still shimmering with fire's majesty. "You have chosen renewal," he murmured. "Then so shall I when the light dimmed." The Ashwind plains were alive again, lush, glowing, shimmering with new flame-forged beauty. Sarah soared into the air, singing a song that hadn't been heard for centuries. Leora stood beside the Monarch, the ember sigil now fused to her skin, glowing faint gold. "What happens next?" she asked softly. He looked toward the horizon, new sunlight shimmering off his obsidian crown. "Now," he said, "we rebuild the world that forgot its fire." And as the wind swept across the revived plains, carrying sparks of new beginnings, Leora felt no fear, only strength. The Ashwind Monarch had returned, not as a destroyer, but as her equal, her partner, her flame, and together they would ignite an age the world had long forgotten.